for my little mini mixed media book that I made that I'm having so much fun with. Like, it's so easy. It's just a really small space, and just when I've got some extra time and I just want to do something creative, I can just do it on this small little, I think it's like 3 by 5. So I was playing with some of the decoupage paper that I got. It's a big pack I got on Amazon, and I just tore the edges of that paper. It had such a pretty design. I was like, you know what? I could just go with that. It'll like fit right on there, and it's beautiful. And I could just embellish it just a little bit with just some things from my stash. So I was just playing around. So it's fun times. My distress ink, I've had my distress ink for years. And I'll tell you, my ink pads are probably pretty dried out. I have not purchased all the reinkers. And I probably should, because that tie-dye ink pad right there, I know that's very dry. And that should go on way, way darker. All of these inks, if you purchase them and you first use them, it will not be the same result. They're way more saturated. But I've had mine for years. And sometimes I like them that they're a little less like, wow, here I am, I'm ink on your page. Sometimes it can be a little convenient to have that. But yeah, I'm going to need to get these reinkers here eventually. But they do last a long time. So the Distress line, I'll tell you guys, great investment if you like this kind of stuff. So that one was Ground Espresso, I believe. That one is one of my newer colors, so it came out a little bit darker. Now, it's supposed to be darker. However, I didn't want it to be completely overpowering. I just wanted to have a vintage feel to it. So, yeah. And I'm using my Sizzix sticky strip. I really like those. They help me hold things down on my waffle flower palette there. I put my fingers all over everything, and then you get your finger marks on your paper, and I don't really like that. So I like to use the, you can use the Pixie spray too, which works really well, but this paper is really, really thin. So if I'd used that, the Pixie spray probably would have tore it. So the Sizzix sticky strips are really, really great to have in your craft room if you don't have them already. I really like them. Helps with stamping, all kinds of uses for it. So just to put stuff down and make it stay where you stick it. So yeah, I'm just inking around the outside of that paper too. And again, it's all torn, and it is a white core paper, so I wanted to get rid of all that white. And I decided I like how that looks. And I wasn't quite done with the background though. I needed it to be a little bit more, I don't know, a little darker. So in Vintage Photo, I'll tell you, you can never go wrong with Vintage Photo. Now this one I did buy the reinker because I go through a lot of this. It's my favorite. And when you re-ink it, woo, it's nice and dark. I love it. But yeah, so, and I'm just using my blending foams to do what I need to do today. There's all kinds of different ways that you can add ink on paper, but this is what was working for me. Super quick and easy. All right. Kind of liking how that's looking. And then after I cleaned up, I was trying to decide where do I want to go next with this. What's, I'm not quite sure. Does it need to be darker? Does it need to be lighter? And I didn't like how the edges of it came to corners. That didn't look right to me. If I'm going for something like a vintage feel on this, then you shouldn't have like corners. Doesn't work. I don't want perfectly round corners either, but if I tore part of it, I wanted it all of it tore. So, and I like that a little bit better. It looked a little bit too forced the other way. So I just decided it was time to commit, man. I just got my glue, and I think this is the Simon Says stamp glue. It's the most recent one I had from a kit, and it was the closest, so that's what got used today. But any liquid glue works. You could Mod Podge it, all that good stuff, but Mod Podge is going to make your ink react, and I did not want that, so just put some liquid glue on there and called it done as far as attached. So it's really cute with the little bugs flying around. They're little bees flying around in the background. But I needed more. I needed more interest in the background. So I pulled out some of my Tim Holtz stamps. And this is a stamp and stencil combo. Really, really like it. It's their, can't see it very well, but he's got so many different ones. But I wanted a honeycomb type of texture in the background and maybe some dots. But and this one came up, and I wound up using the stencil And I'll tell you, I got regrets because I wound up using well, first I tried it with white, and I was like, what are you thinking? That doesn't make any sense. So then I did it with black soot, and I really, really wish I would not have done that. I should have just stuck with um, the vintage photo, or like anything else would have been better. Like even a light purple, something, but I wasn't happy with my choice. So, but again, it's not the end of the world. This is my art journal. And, if I found out that I didn't like this, then I'll remember that for next time. But yeah, I was like, I don't really like that. I wish I wouldn't have done that, but it's down. Can't change it. So I just took some white acrylic paint and added some water with a little cheap brush and just splattered some white splashes on there. I'll tell you, if you want to undo something, you just put some white splatters on it. It can help when it comes time to doing a mixed media page. But I'm still liking the direction that it's going. I really like the lavender flowers in the background. The little bees are super cute. But I still needed more. So after I dried that paint, made sure everything was dry, I decided I'd take some text, and that was just the interest I needed. And this is a very old stamp that I took off the wooden block so I could bend and twist it to add text to whatever I'd like to add it to. And that was just the ticket for the interest that I needed in the background. So the honeycomb was really cute. I just wish I would have chose a different color. So I sped this up to 5 times the speed. If you don't want to watch coloring with distress ink, you definitely don't have to. But some people really like to see this. So I really enjoy coloring these butterflies from Tim Holtz. I really enjoy coloring them with the distress line with just a water brush. And you can get the most beautiful shades from using that. And it's just watercoloring, basically. You just need a tiny bit, just a very small amount. You stick it on your water brush and you can go. If you don't have a water brush, you just use water and any kind of watercoloring paint brush, and it winds up working out really well. So the purple and the orange wound up looking too yellow to me, so no big deal. I go back in and I make it more vibrant. Once each layer dries, you can actually add more. You can go in and add a little bit more, and it will. It doesn't. The oxide inks, one lays on top of the other. These play with each other. They blend. They play really, really nice in the sandbox. So, but sometimes you wind up with brown, so you got to be careful. But as long as you dry your colors in between, you can see that yellow wind up being that really nice, rich orange that I really, really wanted. I love purple and orange together. I don't know why. It warms me. I don't know. I like it. So, yeah, so I do have, and I think I show you, that is a Stampers Anonymous stamp. And Tim Holtz sells the stamps and the dies to cut them out. The cool thing about the dies is there's no white around them. It actually cuts it to the line. So they're really, really cool. And I'm just showing you that Stampers Anonymous. Beautiful, beautiful collection. I absolutely love it. I use it a lot. So I do love his stamps. I absolutely love his stamps. And I keep them in one of the binders that I bought from Amazon. And I keep them at the ready. I'm reaching up because it's like right there front and center. And there's the die pack. I included that in here just to show you guys that there are dies with it. So I cut it out, and you can see how it cuts it right to the line. There's no white border on it. And I just use one of Tim Holtz. He's got all those stickers that you can get, and they say all kinds of cool things. And I just cut out what I wanted on this one. So I just had it kind of right there on the butterfly. So, and then once I had that done, I was pretty happy with it. I thought, well, but I still don't like that black at the bottom. I wasn't feeling that. I was like, it looks try hard to me. So I wound up just using some, and I think it did the trick, and it looked like it was a little boring down there. So I will grab my Tim Holtz tissue paper or tissue tape and just cover it up. So I love this stuff. Again, another one of those products that I've had for a very, very long time. When you use it, it's like the perfect thing you needed, but it lasts for a long time because it's not one of those things that you're going to use a ton of in one project. So, but it's such a good staple to have. And it's just this cool, like French looking text thing in the background. I've got one with gears on it. There's different designs, but this one is my favorite. And I just tear it just to make it look, torn and I don't know, worn. And I just stuck some at the bottom. Now, in hindsight, I wish I would have gone in and kind of highlighted a little bit. Just put some highlights around it, maybe with a charcoal pen or with like a Faber-Castell pit marker. That would have been good. But you know what? Again, art journal, play, have fun. That's what this is all about. Find what works, find what doesn't work. And I sometimes make notes on my cards so that I go, oh, here's the technique that I tried on this one that I love. So, love my art journaling time. It is such great therapy. So, and then I needed to use my black soot again and outline, go around the outside of it and frame it in. And again, I'll point out if you had a new ink pad black soot, this would be very, very, very noticeable. Mine is very dried out. So just a reminder. But sometimes that's what I want. But yeah, it wasn't enough, and I just didn't want to go around circles repeatedly. It added just the right amount of framing that I wanted to do to add it into my journal. And I keep all my inks in one of those tins that Tim Holtz has. They just work perfectly for it. It's just my storage solution that works for me. And I'm going to put it in my book. Again, I'm really loving this book. I didn't record the page before that with the butterflies and the stenciling, but hopefully you guys can see that. I thought that one turned out really cute too. That was one night after work, a difficult day of work where things just weren't going my way. So I was like, well, let's see if I can get an art journal page to work in my paper. And I was really happy with how it turned out. So any liquid glue would work, and then my tissue paper, I just wrapped it around the back of it. And what I love about this is I could just cut a piece of paper, any thickness, any type of paper that I want, watercolor or whatever, and just glue it on in my journal so I can work on a free piece of paper. It's again, if you wind up not liking it, you just throw away your 3x5 piece of paper or gesso over it. But I liked how this one turned out. And I just like to push it down with my bone folder just to make sure it's all adhered all the way across. And I had a little funky edge on there, but yeah. So please don't forget to like, comment, and share. And hopefully I'll have a lot more to come, sharing some cards and more art journaling. Thanks, guys.